Hello. Today I want to talk about our identity. The question, who am I, is possibly one of the most challenging but important questions for every one of us as a member of the human race to try and answer. When we do try to answer this question, I think there are words that we use which have differing levels of depth and permanence as we try to describe who we are. And there are also many different interpretations of the meaning of these descriptors that we use. At the most basic level, if we look at our names, then we can learn something about ourselves. Our surname tells us from what family or clan we belong to, traditionally descending through the father or the husband's line. And our Christian name is so called because in the Western Christian tradition, you were given your first name, your forename, or your baptismal name when you were baptized. And this showed you how you are unique within your family. It differentiated you from other members of your family or clan. But I think we all know that our true identity is much deeper than our name. And whether you are a Christian or not, I think it's important for us all to consider how we might describe ourselves and to consider the relative depth and importance of those descriptors that we use. One person might describe themselves as follows: female, LGBTQ+, Christian, daughter, mother, white, British, carer. Another person might describe themselves as this: black, male, Nigerian/English, heterosexual, son, single, agnostic, artist. I think that we need to consider the priority as well as the relative depth and permanence of these descriptors, and to consider what order we might put them in when we're trying to describe ourselves. For others, describing yourself may involve an amount of distress and discomfort as you look to words to describe your identity. Some may use some of the following: survivor, orphan, cheat, liar, bully, thief, abuser, gambler, addict. When we describe ourselves, I would hope that most of us would feel comfortable with some of the descriptors that we use, but probably would be uncomfortable with others. The big question, I think, is whether those that we feel less comfortable with can be transformed. Christians believe that when they commit themselves to a faith in Christ, their identity is fundamentally changed. They become in Christ. It is as if they are adopted into a new family and become God's children and are given a new identity. The Christian faith teaches that nobody in the whole world falls outside the remit of the love of God, and that most, if not all, of our identity descriptors can be transformed positively through God's loving action in our lives. Now that is really good news. So I wonder how you might describe yourself, what words you would use to describe yourself, and to what extent you believe those descriptors to be permanent or open for positive transformation. Ask yourself the question, who am I?